Everyone, welcome to another Music Talk Tuesday, and today I thought it would be interesting to sort of pay a little bit of tribute to the Eagles. Unfortunately, one of their members recently passed away, and when you really think about this particular band, at least when I think of them, they have really transformed the way in which we see music. In particular, I think the sort of country rock subgenre that has sort of been, I think, still prevalent, but not in the same, I think, amount of quality and kind of dedication to the genre as unfortunately it used to at least have, I think. Um, and here I feel that a lot of what the Eagles provided over the years was really well done and well orchestrated. I think Glenn Fry is the band member who unfortunately passed away. And It's nice to hear his sort of role in the band, um, and how he sort of provided his own influence to it. Um, so I thought it would be interesting to kind of talk about, in particular, the songs of the Eagles that I really do enjoy and the ones that I really do remember hearing over the years. Starting off right off the gate with the most popular one, Hotel California. Obviously, this one I think is sometimes a little bit over exaggerated because I hear it played a lot of the times on the radio, but regardless of it being overplayed, it is still a very well put together song, um, and is probably one of the most famous of the Eagles, um, and just one of the more famous songs of the time period in which the Eagles were out, sort of in general. Um, and what I really like about this particular song is that it sort of weaves kind of a little bit of a story of somebody stumbling upon Hotel California. And there have been a variety of different meanings that have been sort of attributed to this particular song. Um, One of the band members commented saying it's supposed to sort of reflect a kind of a loss of innocence. And I sort of see that kind of influence being presented uh, within the lyrics, as well as just by the way in which the song sounds. And it, on the one hand, I think provides kind of that nostalgic feel, and then a certain level of sadness as well. So there is an interesting combination of emotions that it seems like they were trying to sort of put together as far as this particular song is concerned, and it really does all come together very nicely, and it's, I think, definitely one of their uh, more, I guess, less straightforward songs, and for that reason I think it's sort of interesting because you can take in a variety of different interpretations as to what certain parts of the song mean. But its overall construction, I think, is just really uh, haunting, but just has a certain amount of beauty to it as well, and really works as a song for the ages, so to speak. Next song of theirs that I find myself really enjoying is Take It Easy. Um, and this is a song that in particular I like hearing when I'm on the road. It's just one of those songs that kind of gets you into that mood of, I guess, I don't know, kind of going out and experiencing the world, but at the same time kind of taking everything in and sort of uh, really kind of enjoying life. Um, and what I really like about the way in which it approaches this song is just that, it has a certain amount of optimism to it, but at the same time, it's really laid back. It's catchy and upbeat. Um, but as far as the lyrics are concerned, it's sort of a little bit more specific into the narrator sort of wanting to find a woman or a lover. Um, and at the same time, take it easy. So I think that can imply a variety of things. Obviously, again, this is a little bit more specific than Hotel California, but at the same time, I think it's trying to invoke a sense of, just um, having certain things just kind of happen like out of just nowhere. Um, and in doing so, just kind of take it easy at the same time. And I think this sort of laid back approach really does suit the song really well and kind of, you know, makes you want to go outside, makes you want to go on an adventure, but at the same time, kind of take everything in and still kind of enjoy uh, life at the same time and not feel pressured or um, feel like that there needs to be a certain way in which things need to end up, so to speak. And that's why I think its overall approach really does work and is very, I think, memorable and fun to listen to overall. The third song that I wanted to briefly mention is Peaceful Easy Feeling. Uh, this one is sort of similar to Take It Easy in that it has this very laid back, sort of, taking things in, uh, as opposed to, trying to constantly try to work for something, just kind of taking in an experience as opposed to trying to get some kind of experience. Um, and it also has a certain amount of peace of mind to it as well. You just feel good, and it puts you in that mood like really well. At least in my opinion, it does. Um, and again, this is a little bit more specific in that it discusses sort of a relationship that the narrator has, in this case being, I believe, a woman, and um, he sort of kind of implies the idea of no matter what happens within the course of the relationship, he's just going to enjoy his time and sort of the present moment um, where they're sort of together and just kind of, you know, laying back and not really necessarily doing anything, but just kind of taking in the experience of just, sort of being together. And it's kind of nice to see these kinds of songs that approach it from that angle because rarely you do see that kind of uh, sort of relaxation come over in a lot of these kinds of songs. So it's really nice to see it here, and I think it really ultimately works, and I would definitely recommend it. Second to last song I wanted to briefly mention is Desperado. And this song is interesting because, sort of like Hotel California, it has a little bit of a broader interpretation as far as the lyrics are concerned. Um, but basically, the narrator is sort of talking to Desperado, and throughout the song, he's kind of talking about how Desperado's kind of, sad, lonely, and kind of, in a way, maybe suffering to a certain extent. And he's sort of kind of trying to tell Desperado to kind of get out of this state of being and, try to find some sense of happiness, companionship, and to not focus on trying to, have a huge burden on his shoulders. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of, you know, uh, Hey Jude by the Beatles. I mean, in no way in which it sounds, but or even the lyrics, but what it is implying, I think, is sort of this similar attitude of, hey, I know that you're in a bad place, but um, sort of here's a sort of a way out of that. And I think it's sort of nice, and it gives off a fairly kind of inspirational tone to it as well, and I think works overall, and is one that I rarely hear brought up as far as Eagles songs are concerned. Um, and I still find myself really, at least when I heard it initially, it came off as something that was uh, interesting and unique compared to a lot of, I think, works that they've done, and I think ultimately works to its advantage really well. So I would definitely recommend that song as well. And lastly, this is one of their more popular songs, Lyin Eyes. And this one is, again, a little bit more specific in that it talks about a girl and how she ends up being in sort of this loveless marriage, and she sort of goes out and cheats, obviously not telling the husband, and hence sort of being a liar. Um, and you sort of see that even throughout the song, she's kind of lying to other people as well. And, at the same time, it's also kind of expressing a certain level of, you know, loneliness, isolation, and all because kind of she puts on this sort of facade of herself. And then, the sad part is that she really can't change who she is. She can't change the fact that she sort of is a liar, and she's maybe a manipulator to a certain extent. Um, and it has this very kind of depressing tone to it, but also it kind of tries to invoke that, I think, guilt um, that sort of comes to with having these kinds of actions um, sort of part of her life, and that she sort of makes her whole life kind of a lie in a way. So I think that's really interesting, and one that we don't often hear, at least I think when it comes to a lot of songs that are out, especially nowadays. Uh, so yes, that is all of the songs that I wanted to really discuss for this particular Music Talk Tuesday. I'd be more than happy to hear what anybody else has to say, and if they have in particular certain songs of the Eagles that they enjoy. But I think that's really ultimately all I can say. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year. I'll be sure to put links below so that you may enjoy the music. And until next time, everybody.